Welcome to Family Gamer TV. We're here at the LEGO Dimensions event with Nick Ricks, executive producer on the game.
Hi everyone.
And we are about to play the opening scenes of LEGO Dimensions. I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to hand over to you. You can drive, and maybe I'll butt in with some questions as you go.
Be my guest. Be my guest. So we begin the game with the introduction of our first character, Batman, and we place Batman onto the toy pad to introduce the first aspect of the story. Now, as with all our games, the story is obviously vital, and in this one we have a new villain, Lord Vortek, who had the high-flown idea of creating and rebuilding the entirety of the LEGO multiverse in his image. But in order to do that, he needs these foundation elements, which he's been searching out through the various different multiverses to find. Regrettably, however, these are in the hands of some heroes, and in this case, Robin has the kryptonite foundation element, and he's now being drawn into Vortex's power through one of these dimensional vortices. Here it is appearing.
This will take us into our first of the worlds, will it?
It will, well, yes. So we'll have a series of introductions to the principal characters from the starter pack: Batman, Wyldstyle and Gandalf. And here we go, here's Gandalf. So we always feel it's immensely important for us that the physical aspect of the toys, because they are so tactile, they're so fun to build and play with, because they are genuinely crafted by LEGO Group, that we wanted them to be an integral part of the game experience. So throughout the game you're rewarded and encouraged to pick up, play, move around, and even physically rebuild these LEGO toys in order to enhance your experience. So here's Gandalf.
Classic scene.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, we're loving this one again. But as I was saying, so the Lord Vortek is after these foundation elements, and in this particular case, the foundation element is the One Ring. As we know, the One Ring is in the possession of Frodo. So as Gandalf plummets down across the bridge of Khazad-dûm, so the traditional story, which everyone's familiar with, starts to be adapted a little bit. So he certainly fights the Balrog, but you're not often that you see the Batmobile flying down.
Yeah, wait a minute, who's that?
That's right, that's right. So this is our first hint that the things aren't right, and this is our first introduction to the mashup, because this is what we really want to do. We know that kids don't play with their Batman Lego and the Harry Potter Lego separately. We just bring it all together. You just mash it up and create a story for yourself, and that's exactly what we want to try and do here. Take all these amazing characters and these classic locations and really mash them up together and create something that's unique and fun and expressionful for young gamers and their families.
Now you mentioned Harry Potter though, is that included this year?
Oh no, I meant in terms of Harry Potter as the Lego toys. So yeah, you might have Harry Potter toys, or you might have Batman toys, and we wouldn't differentiate between those. You blend them together. But here we've got all the characters that we're showcasing for this year, which is Batman, Gandalf, and Wyldstyle. So we've lost here. We have Frodo obviously disappearing, and now the One Ring has been taken into the possession of Lord Vortek, and Gandalf thus joins the quest.
And they've gone.
They have. And I suppose we'll just have to wait. And lastly, we have introduced to our last of our three principal heroes, which is Wyldstyle from the LEGO Movie. So obviously everything is awesome in the LEGO Movie world, and they're having a big dance-off at the moment, between Princess Unikitty and Wyldstyle. And obviously Unikitty has to keep a lid on her anger, because we always know what happens when she gets angry. But Unikitty is a playable character in the game, and yes, when she does lose her temper, she is awesome.
Because there was a LEGO Movie Lego game, and I remember playing Unikitty there as a favourite.
Yeah. Well, you won't be surprised by some of the powers that she has in this game as well. But again, this is another another feature that we want to bring in is obviously we have Batman and Batman.
Batman versus Batman.
We have, and of course this is the Will Arnett Batman from LEGO Movie. Will Arnett's reprised his role, and we have him in here, but we have him throughout the game as well. So every single one of the IPs that we have in the game has an associated adventure world. So within the DC adventure world, you'll have the Will Arnett Batman ripping off our LEGO Batman as well. So
Nice.
These jokes, permeate throughout the whole of the game.
Young halfling passes way.
What's a halfling?
The only thing we saw was our friend Beard getting dragged into a strange vortex.
And so, to get to this point, we would already have built the toy pad, which comes in the starter pack. But you construct that yourself.
No, yeah, the toy pad is the base of the bottom part. This section on top of it is called the gateway. But no, what we wanted to do was introduce the physical building element and weave it into the game itself. So what we've done here in kind of classic TV style is here's one we prepared for you earlier.
Yeah.
But as you'll see as you play through the game, the building experience is really integral to what you're doing, and the aim really is to blend those two experiences together. So regrettably, Wyldstyle and Gandalf and Batman have taken off, leaving their friends behind. But now we just have their little cameos just wrapping up before we move the story on.
There's quite a lot of sort of watching before we play. Was that a question in your mind when you're developing the game? Is there a balance between watching and actually interacting?
Yeah, no, very much so. I think what we're trying to introduce is introduce the characters which people are familiar with, but ensuring that the underlying premise of the game, the mashup concept, is really developed strongly as well. And so you have the stories and you have the characters, but the blending of them is something which I think kids need to take through at pace. But fortunately, just on cue, we're returning to the game. So the first thing we need to do is start associating the colours of the toy pad with the colours of the characters. So we have pink to denote that it's for Wyldstyle, we have white or grey for Gandalf, and then lastly we have blue for Batman. And this is an important part of the game because throughout the game the colours associated with those characters are reflected on the toy pad.
It's creating that link between the physical toy and what's on screen.
Very much so, very much so. So we see the toy pad really as a whole controller. It's not simply an activation device. You don't sit and put something on it and then play through the game. Because these are Lego toys, because they can be rebuilt and played with, we wanted to have that physical play aspect really coming through into the game. And indeed, the very nature that the toy pad itself physically exists within the world, but also is represented within the game, is an important aspect of what we're trying to do. So we have emerged here on an unknown planet. The planet is Vorton. It is the home world of our villain. And here the game begins. So we can start off with some kind of traditional action adventure gameplay, which we're famous for, using the characters that we already have. So Batman here needs to assemble these Lego bricks.
Oh yes, this will be familiar if you've played a Lego game before. It's a similar sort of stuff, but you're using the characters that are on the toy pad.
Precisely, yeah, precisely. So at any time I could introduce other characters, but I think just for the purpose of this demo, this section's demo, we'll just proceed on just with the principal characters. So I've knocked down some Lego bricks here. Who should we go for next? We will go for Gandalf. And actually I'll show gamers a great tip here, because you can actually stand on here and use your magic power.
Little shortcut there.
Yeah, no, that's right. When we're playing through the game, when we're making it, seconds do count. So this will shave a few seconds off your time.
This is our speed run.
Absolutely, too right. So Gandalf can build up that, and then lastly we can swap back to Wyldstyle, and Wyldstyle's an acrobat. So there is something for her to build over here. And again, as the Lego objects materialise, so we can just simply jump back and forth and reach the last piece of the gateway, which exploded, and allowing her to assemble up those pieces as well. Oh, I forgot about the Batman one. There's the Batman one over here. We'll do that next.
So as we're doing this, we're sort of learning how to work with the toy
much.
pad and the game. It's sort of like a tutorial, but we've started the game.
Precisely. So, and then this is a great example of how, again, we're trying to blend the physical and the digital play. So what we have here is our first master build. So Wyldstyle is master builder, and so if I approach this step, we're told that we need to use the toy pad here to solve this puzzle. So we can see here that the toy pad is flashing pink. We have pink coloration on the Lego bricks because it's a master build. So what we need to do is physically pick up Wyldstyle and place her on one part of the toy pad, one of three. We're then being told to move on to a second, 2 of 3, before moving on to the third, 3 out of 3. So that's the first introduction of the physical and blending of the physical and the digital aspect. So here, this is where we receive the instructions on how to build the gateway. again, you're mirroring what you're being told to do in the game in the physical. So these the gateways bricks and building instructions are all authentically produced by LEGO Group. And as we've already built it, we can skip through this, but you'll be able to do that step by step and recreate your gateway as you see it within the game.
Nice. It makes it really feel like a Lego toy as well as a Lego video game.
No, absolutely. Well, you know, authenticity is obviously really important for us, not just in terms of the IPs that we present, but also the LEGO Group as well. I mean, it really it has been, you know, all these individual builds have all been handcrafted by LEGO, and you know they've spent years crafting them and trying to work out, you know, how best to fit within the space available, how they'll fit within a child's hand, and you know, we're immensely proud of what we've been able to achieve with it. So here we have a gateway, but it's not powered up, and I'm being instructed to switch to Batman. So we are now introducing the last aspect of the building, which is the ability to build Batmobile. So in the starter pack, you'd have our third bag, which will open up and reveal the instructions for building the Batmobile. But once it's complete, we're asked, do you want to save this model to the toy tag? So we'll say yes. And at this point, we need to pick up our pre-built Batmobile and place it on the central part of the toy pad, and then that will write that information onto the toy pad itself.
So it needs to go in that central spot. That's where the writing happens.
Yeah, that's the fusion spot, and you'll be able to go through that throughout the rest of the game. So as you progress through the game and collect currency, you can upgrade your vehicles. You can give it new powers, abilities, colours, speed, lots of, you know, funny things. But also, as you collect the higher currency of gold bricks, you can use those to actually physically upgrade your
oh, nice, yeah.
So turn the Batmobile into the Bat Blaster, and that involves rebuilding. You get new instructions how to take those elements, disassemble them, reassemble them, and rewrite it to the toy pack.
Also, we've got our Batmobile now. It looks like we need to go and drive it somewhere.
That's right. So this is what we call our accelerator switch. So it's kind of like you know, it's like a treadmill for a car. So you just get on it, put your foot down in it, and it charges it up. Electricity.
Oh, this is powering our toy pad.
Power up the toy pad. Yeah, absolutely. Allowing us to take us to the next stage. So obviously the heroes have no idea really where they are, what they're doing. They just know that they've been stuck through this vortex, and now having rebuilt this gateway, as Batman sees, you know, it's unstable, it's not right. So there are these pieces which are missing, and the part of the game is for you to head through to the various different dimensions and unlock these Lego elements and collect them, obtain their powers that are associated with the gateway, and then use those in further to determine what's happening, who the villains is, and how you're going to end up saving the entirety of the multiverse.
So there's 5 of those pieces to collect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That's sort of 5 different abilities that the toy pack can take on.
Exactly.
Without giving too much away.
No. I'm trying to hold some of it a little bit back. So we begin the next stage of the level is for us to head through the now reactivated gateway. And as we travel through the vortices, we can fly around. And what I've loved about the game is, even though as we were making the game, obviously we knew of the various different sections that we were going to have, and they were all kind of planned out individually. But as you play through the game in flow, you really do not know where you're going to end up next. And so, even though I knew we were going to go to the Wizard of Oz, it's still astounding to emerge on the Yellow Brick Road, you know, and see the Green Palace. And every time you get through to a new level, you do end up going, okay, well, where are we going now? Yeah. And every time there's a big surprise.
And I presume there's sort of hidden things to find in each of the levels as you go, so it'd be a reason to play through even the sort of campaign mode a number of times.
Absolutely. So all of the characters in the starter pack, the entirety of the game, every story, every trophy, everything can be unlocked with the starter pack characters. But naturally, the game has lots of other additional areas which you can unlock with your free play characters. In fact, let's start introducing them here. So we begin with just breaking apart some Lego objects, just to find it out. But why should we just remain with these characters? Let's put Homer, let's put Shaggy, and let's put Scooby-Doo on as well.
Nice, and then they instantly appear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we can have. This is what was critical for us: is that there should be no rules. You can play with any character, anytime, anywhere you want. And as I say, there's no delay, there's no loading. You have that immediacy of your experience, which is so important. So Homer can start off by helping him out, but we need Batman here to use his Batarang to pull this section down. Now we see beyond here we've got some mysterious flowers. So let's swap back to Homer and see how he gets on. But poor old Homer, he always ends up like taking a nap. So we have to wake Homer up. And as you remember, or perhaps people hadn't seen the film, you need to get into the Batmobile and drive over these. But why would you want to drive as Homer? Why not drive as Scooby-Doo? Okay, so because I've selected Scooby-Doo, we have the option to build his toy, should we want. But for the purpose of this demo, I'll skip past that, and I'll just get back to Scooby.
There we are, we got him in there.
We got him in there in the end.
He sort of sits on top of it.
Scooby's not happy. He's not happy. But it's he needs to do what we have to tell him. So Scooby, any character can play any of the vehicles. Again, there's no reason why you should be limited in any way, shape, or form in your experience.
So some familiar characters.
That's right. So one of the foundation elements which Lord Vortex was after are the magical red ruby slippers that Dorothy has. So it's by way of coincidence that the heroes have arrived just in time to interrupt Lord Vortex's villainous and nefarious plans. But of course Batman thinks it's the wrong Scarecrow.
So it seems to work on a number of levels there, because obviously younger kids would just miss that joke.
No, that's right.
But mums and dads playing as well will obviously get the reference to Scarecrow from the Batman films.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what we've always... I think one of the things we really strive to do is to obtain that kind of duality of appeal. So, yes, there'll be plenty of gags in there that, slapstick, real, fun gags for kids. But also we try, to weave in jokes which appeal to the kind of broader audience.
Is that first? What are they called? Those
are the keystones, and the keystones are what you unlock and unlock powers on the gateway. So let's try a different vehicle. We've got the mystery machine. But again, we can have anything. We can have 6. That's been ripped to the wrong tag. Let's try this one instead.
Yeah, so it reads the tag rather than the vehicle, doesn't it? So if you've got the vehicle on the wrong tag, as my kids I'm sure will at some point.
That's right. Well, again, what we wanted to do, I mean, these are genuine and authentic Lego toys. So, as we find is that the play experience might stop once you turn the game off, but there should be no reason why you shouldn't take the toys and play with them and the rest of your Lego.
So we're proceeding through the sort of main campaign here, the first level of that. At some point, if you wanted to go and explore the adventure worlds, could you just sort of stop where you were here and go into any of the first 3 you have? Yes. So you get Lord of the Rings,
you get the Lord of the Rings, DC, and the Lego Movie Adventure Worlds. And again, so they are much more free-roaming, open areas. That are filled with puzzles and quests and collectibles as you come to expect. But also what we wanted to do is, because those are much larger free roaming areas with free cam, they're also loads of fun for your vehicles, because whilst, as you can see in this area here, we've got lots of open areas so you can drive around. You've got spaceships, submarines, ships, flying vehicles, creatures that you can ride around on. We really want to have really big open areas for you to experience. And so that's part of the reason why we wanted to make the adventure world. So you do have these free open areas that you can take your vehicles to town in. So in this case we've got the flying monkeys, and we're battling the Wicked Witch. And what we're going to be seeing is our first introduction of the toy pad actually impacting the game, part of the game mechanics. So she's going to cast us a chain spell, and obviously here we're being shown that the left hand side of the toy pad, where Gandalf is dangerous. So we're going to take Gandalf off on moving on to the right hand side of the toy pad, and that breaks the spell. And so this is the first example of how we're trying to weave the physical and the digital gameplay elements together. Now if the battle of the warlocks and the witches.
Nice.
But then there's no substitute for actually going over them and just attacking with your staff as well. You can do it however you like.
And the other characters are joining in and helping you.
Yeah, very much so. So the AI characters will always react to, will help you. They will go out and fight the enemies as well. But they won't take the stance. You'll still collect everything that you want. So I think that's most of the flying monkeys done. She should come around for another pass in a second, and there should be another chain spell to try and restrain us. So let's just So again, so now we can see the toy pads flashing down the bottom to show us where we need to be, and again, flashing red here, so let's move Gandalf onto another section, break the spell. But as you progress through the game, so we can start layering in a little bit more puzzles and challenges to the toy pad sections. Again, they're all colour coordinated, because you can have up to 7 characters at the toy pad at any one time. You can have 1 character and 6 vehicles in any combination you want. And so that allows us a lot of flexibility in terms of creating the different puzzles within the game, and providing something which is, as we mentioned, it really is, it's a controller. It's not simply just an activation device. It's something integral to the game. No way it's talking and playing at the same time. And I think there'll be one more. Let's take these guys out. Let's have some different characters in here as well. Let's have Chell, and let's get rid of Scooby and have Marty McFly. But again, so you can see at any time I can have the characters I want, and they can use their own character powers and abilities. We can also, if you've got a clutter pad, you can also select any character you want by this. So I'm going to select Chell, and then she can use her portal gun or her remarkable acrobatics to take out the enemies. Now, she should be coming around, the Wicked Witch should be coming around for a final pass. And right, and then lastly, so we now need to move Chell, let's move her to the central part. And again, the spell is broken. And she becomes vulnerable, bang. And there we've taken her out. So that's really how we start to introduce the toy pad as a controller itself, by introducing it in with a limited functions to begin with, but obviously we start layering complexity as we get out throughout the rest of the game. However, the Wicked Witch has got the has captured the keystone, and now we're going to have to kind of pursue after. Okay. So we have the dark and moody forest, with, again, lots more action and adventure and puzzling gameplay, as you come to expect. But what we're also starting to see is, as we are moving off the main path of gameplay, we can see there are some free play areas off here. And so then we can use the characters that have those abilities to access those areas. So if I just take out these guys first,
so would this be the same if you came to the Adventure World? Could you visit this place as well? Does that overlap?
No. The Adventure Worlds are, whilst they're themed upon the same IPs, they're entirely unique. They're entirely uniquely crafted for each individual IP, and they contain the core aspects of each of those IP blended together in one.
So this sort of side section here is in addition to the...
Yeah, absolutely. So here we could say, we've been told that a character such as the Wicked Witch can destroy the silver Lego object, so we're telling the players what they would need to do, and we're showing also the characters which ones you have or which ones you could collect in order to obtain them. So here we go. In this case, we've got the Cyberman, and the Cyberman has all these different powers and abilities, and we also show it so that you don't necessarily need to read anything. It's all there, nicely presented for you, so you can know exactly what their powers and abilities are.
Yeah, so there's like a matrix of abilities, and different characters would have different abilities.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think what you're saying is that it's not just the Wicked Witch that could access past those silver blocks.
No, indeed. No, the idea is very much that we've spread the abilities where appropriate, to that individual character. Those abilities are shared across a number of different characters, so that if you want to have your the player as the Cyberman, or you want to play as the Wicked Witch, they do share the common abilities where appropriate, but you wouldn't necessarily need to get everything in order to access everything in the game. So here we go. Let's use Chell to take out the flying monkey.
Are we able to bring up that abilities menu in mid-game, or is it only pop up?
No, it comes up. You can play it. You can return to the Vorton Hub, and that's available for you there, or next to any appropriate LEGO interaction. It will always show you the characters that you want to see.
So we can't browse all different figures here, though?
Not in this section of the game, not right now. Okay, so we need to have Gandalf. But we've taken real time to look into all the VFX. So they've all taken a big step forward. So let's Let's try and get rid of these last guys here. And lastly, we can use his magical powers to threaten the tree with a saw and cause her to lift up her skirts and dash off.
Cute.
And from beyond here, so this is something that we're going to need a vehicle for. So I'm going to pick the Batmobile, put it back on. And let's have... Okay, Marty wants to get it. That's all right. Can do. So that just helps us break through here. So over here we have some ghosts. And so, again, we were informed, how do we get through here? So the ghosts will say only Pete Bateman from the Ghostbusters.
But there are other characters as well who could do that.
Yeah, we could see that. In this case, it's just Pete Bateman. Pete Bateman is the Ghostbuster, and you need him to be able to get through.
So any sort of gold or red bricks that are behind ghosts, you'd absolutely have to have a Ghostbuster to access.
Yeah, that's right. Now we have the next section is blocked by these Lego bricks here. And again, we're being shown quite clearly who we need, what we need to do, and even there's additional help here by showing us not only just the character portrait, but characters such as Wyldstyle and use their relic scanners in order to find the hidden Lego objects. So let's switch to Wyldstyle, and again, because it's a character ability, we can use the toy pad to activate it. So we have one. Let's open it up, and we're revealing Batman
grapple hook.
Yeah. Classic, of course.
And of course, you could play all this in two-player split screen if you want to.
No, without a doubt. That any time you can drop in and drop out, as you come to expect from us.
And there's not online play, is there?
No. Again, our focus really is on brothers, sisters, siblings sitting together, playing with them.
Couch co-op, as people like to call it. But on the box, it seems to say that an internet connection is required or would help. How does that fit?
Okay, so we obviously, as we're progressing through the game, you're going to be seeing areas which you can unlock, and the associated adventure worlds with some of these new characters. You need to download them. Also, the level packs as well. The level packs create levels which are entirely crafted just for that character. So that's either the Homer Simpson, Marty McFly, or Portal. And so there is an entire adventure world dedicated to that IP, as well as a whole level based around those principal characters. And again, that's downloaded as well. So when you buy it, you'll be able to put the characters directly onto the Portal, but you'll need to download the level.
So it's not on the disc already?
No. All the characters are, so you immediately get all of the characters and all the vehicles. They're ready for you to play. But the whole levels, because it's an entirely dedicated experience, that needs to be downloaded.
Yeah. It's back to signify just how much content there is in the game, that you're downloading more as you buy these extra packs.
Absolutely. So the game is I've never once heard of anyone complaining that Lego games aren't big enough. So this is an immense game. So you've got 14 levels, 3 different adventure worlds just with the characters that you get in the starter pack. You've got all the replay availability through the upgrading of the Batmobile, because as you do that, so it unlocks more powers to the Batmobile. So the game is absolutely enormous. It is vast, and every time you buy one of the new characters, you're getting a whole new adventure world just thrown in for free. So it's an amazing proposition. It really is. So now to get up here, we have a jump ramp. So let's go with, I think we'll have the. No, not that one.
That's tricking us.
I need to put that one away. Let's go with it. Let's go with the DeLorean. That will take us up through here. And we've got one more.
Nice.
And then we're heading up into the Witch's Castle, where, as you would imagine, there are puzzles, there's Lego to play, there's villains to defeat, there's new portal mechanics for you to exploit and learn about, and everything is just there waiting for you to experience and unlock it. So that's our first playthrough, or the first couple of minutes of Lego Dimensions, and this really is, we're barely way through the first half of the first level. We haven't touched on any adventure worlds or any of the replay value, which we know we weave directly into all of our games. So it's really something else.
Great. Thanks a lot for showing us. It's great to have a sort of insider view on it. And we're looking forward to trying the game out in the home. My kids can't wait, but thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks very much. Take it easy now.